As we heard our readings today, we hear that God is in charge of our lives and not we ourselves. God often allows us to be challenged in our faith, but we are called to trust in God no matter what happens in our life, knowing that He will take care of us. In our first reading of Job and in the Gospel, we hear of hard times. We're reminded that Job lost everything, wealth and family and health. Even Job's friends accused him of being a sinner, and Job is tempted to question God's wisdom. And even his wife said, "Curse God and die," and yet he would not curse God. In this part of chapter 38, God asked Job, "Where were you when I made everything? I did it without your counsel." A reminder that God is in charge of everything and not ourselves. In the Gospel, we hear about the big storm on Lake Galilee and how the disciples almost lost faith when Jesus was there calmly sleeping. Jesus may be asleep in the stern of the boat, but he was still in charge. Jesus rebuked the wind and the storm, and it calmed down at his command. Then Jesus rebuked the disciples for their lack of faith. Jesus was saying, "Why are you stressed out? Here I am, and I am in control of everything." In the second reading, we're reminded that Jesus loves us so much that he can help us through any difficulty in our lives. What powerful act of God's love have we experienced and recently in our own lives that God has taken care of when we were so stressed out about? Or what storm of our life have we survived because Jesus took care of it for us? The Lord's promised us that all things work together for good for those who love God, as we know in Romans 8. Things happen in God's time frame and not our own. He asks us to have faith even when things seem to go wrong and they look very bleak in our lives. Life is difficult, and our courage can be strong while everything is smooth and calm, but our strength seems to vanish when the storms come in our life and we have doubts about what is happening and are not in control. Losing our job or a death of a loved one or a sickness or a tornado or any other tragedy may lead us to a loss of our faith for a while. The gospel story reminds us that the storms in the primitive church were there too, where they were having severe difficulties with persecutions and being expelled from the synagogue and being martyred for their faith because they believed in Jesus. Jesus is still in the boat, which is a symbol of the church. Jesus is still in charge and won't let the church be destroyed. Even when things look bleak, Jesus will see us through every storm in our own lives and ask us to have faith and rely on his eternal wisdom. Waves can come in many forms: a gentle lap, which may be just an interruption in our lives, or even a devastating wave, which the apostles kind of felt today when the water was going over the boat and it was about to sink. Who do we trust in? Let us place our trust and faith in God alone, knowing that he is always here to take care of us. No matter what happens in our lives, God is in control.